Good morning, America.
Bering thinks this chap is a great guy. He's from Texas. I'm from Texas. So I'm gonna give my 2 cents on this person.
You know, I've been sitting here for 2 days watching all these Hillary Clinton supporters.
Now, I grew up in a town full of people like this, and we call them kickers or rednecks, which I'm pretty sure this guy would be happy to call himself, and I'm not trying to be prejudiced or whatever, but I don't really like kickers or rednecks, and to be honest, I would say that they are an SJW, but on the opposite side of the spectrum. But I'm gonna try and not be a dick.
Pissing and moaning, whining and crying, protesting over the victory of Donald Trump.
And I agree with you. I do believe that those people are pissing and moaning and protesting and all that because their candidate lost and they think that Trump is like Hitler. But you're going to go on to say that our side would not be doing this when Trump himself said that he may not accept himself losing. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you probably listened to 740, which I do myself. And, Hannity and Limbaugh are all saying that, oh, we wouldn't have protested if we would have won. And you're falling for that shit. You're falling for probably Fox saying that and already being prejudiced against people like you. I understand that you probably think honesty is the best policy. You think a man's word is his bond, and I agree with you. Being from Texas, that's probably real big around here. But you got to be truthful to yourself and to the people you're talking to. We would be protesting. We would be behind Trump. Trump would probably be leading us in that protest.
Let me tell you people something. Look around here. Do you see this? Do you see this? It is 5 minutes after 7 o'clock Texas time.
And that's a positive that rednecks have, is they are mostly hard workers. And I do like that about rednecks. But I feel like, and this is also a bias that I have, that they're dumb and they don't push themselves to be smarter. That's a bad thing about rednecks, is they don't use their brain as much as they use their hands. And the reason that I don't like that is because they consider that a positive about themselves. He'll go on to say that he's just a simple man. And that's not a good thing. And that's why I believe that you're falling for, everyone saying that. We wouldn't be protesting. And another thing I don't like is I feel like people like you are going to get behind Trump and that he can do no wrong, which is the same thing as black people getting behind Obama and saying that he can do no wrong. So you need to understand that you can't judge those people and then do the same thing on the opposite side of the spectrum. And I know you probably consider honesty to be a big deal, so I'm going to come at you like this. We have to put the pressure on Trump to do what he promised. And if he doesn't, he must lose our support. If he goes into the presidency acting like just another politician and ends his presidency as a populist, we cannot back that, and we cannot say that he did a great job, especially if he doesn't drain the swamp.
And I've been at work for 2 hours now. I come to work before the sun comes up, and I don't get home till the sun goes down. I work 10, 12, 16 hours a day, 5, 6, 7 days a week, and I pay taxes. I pay taxes every week to make sure that you people can eat. If y'all get it your way, I'm going to pay for your college.
I think you need to look into how taxes work. Not all taxes that are taken out of your check go to welfare. But I do agree with you on this issue. I just think you're probably not as educated as you need to be if you're going to talk about it.
Where you take classes that won't get you nowhere in the real world. I make a pretty decent living. And I'm sure many of y'all going to say I'm just a white privileged, racist bigot. My wife is Mexican, and I got 5 kids.
I agree with you. I do think that rednecks and kickers do get a bad name, and that most of them are considered racist. And I would say that quite a few probably are. But everything you've just said, I've heard being spouted on Fox News, and that's why I feel like you're the SJW of the right. You think your ideas and the ideas that Fox News gives you are the only right ideas for the country.
You know, if Hillary had won, all us Trump supporters that came out in droves after work, you know, came out in droves after work and voted for that man because he believes how we believe.
And this is where I think you've fallen for the hype. Trump is not a conservative, and that's why he hired Pence as vice president. And what I think people like you, most likely you're conservative, need to understand is that people like me who voted for Trump who aren't conservative don't really like Pence. We don't like the things that he's said in the past. And the reason we voted for Trump was because we were voting against SJWs and we were voting against corruption in politics, which I think you probably were voting against corruption in politics as well. And you were probably voting against SJWs and all that shit because you're a conservative. We were voting against SJWs not necessarily because we're conservatives, but because we disagree with their ideology. So equally through Trump, people like you and people like me gave a big fuck you to the SJWs. But we also, like I said, have a common goal of getting corruption out of politics, and we have to hold Trump to that. And if he doesn't do it, he must lose your support and my support.
We're tired of the bullshit. We're tired of paying for people that lay up on their lazy dead ass. You know, if Hillary would have won, we wouldn't have gone out protesting. Not our president. Fuck Hillary Clinton.
Maybe necessarily we wouldn't be protesting under those guidelines, but most likely we would be protesting under Trump through some way. You gotta accept that and know that that's what would happen. You can't go back on that now whenever Trump himself said he may not accept it. And we would have followed him if he said that. And we would have protested if he told us to. And what I'm trying to get you to understand is you gotta stay honest to yourself, man. Just because Handy and Rush are saying, oh, we wouldn't have protested, we wouldn't, even though Trump said that he may not accept it, and that's just a bunch of hogwash. Don't blindly follow the right. The left is not the only one, not the only politicians to play dirty politics. Think for yourself.
We would have gone on about our lives because we're adults. We're not little fucking snowflakes that get to sit and piss and moan and whine and cry when we don't get our fucking way. We get up every goddamn morning. We do our fucking job and we believe in our country.
And yeah, it's easy to say that now because we won.
Some people may call me a patriot.
Why would they call you a patriot exactly?
Most people are going to call me a bigot.
Why would most people call you a bigot? Almost half the people in America voted for Trump. A lot of people agree with you. The people that would call you a bigot are the SJWs. And they're not an extremely large group.
Don't really make a shit to me either way.
Then why bring it up? And this may be my bias against rednecks, but y'all do boast a lot and then try to say, oh, it don't make a shit to me. And that's why I'm questioning you on this, because that shit gets annoying. And I'm sorry if that makes me a dick, but it gets on my nerves.
I've made my life with my own two fucking hands. I don't ask nobody for nothing. Most of y'all Hillary supporters can't say that because all you want's a handout.
And what that tells me is that you've probably never had to struggle through life, so you don't understand what it's like. And yeah, I do agree with you that a lot of the Bernie supporters wanted a handout, not necessarily the Hillary supporters. But this whole, like, we can't give anyone handouts, so some people need it, and you got to understand that. Not everyone, of course, but you can't say that all people don't need help at some point in their life. Because whenever you're struggling and you're down and you don't got $1 to your name, you can't find a job, shit gets hard. This is another tactic that I think the right uses to persuade people like us to vote for them, saying that, oh, the left all wants handouts, when you have to remember that almost all of California voted for. I mean, all those rich people out in California are on the left, and I'm pretty sure they don't need handouts.
Wait till you get out in the real world and and you go crying like that to your boss and he tells you to just pack your shit and get on out the fucking gate. Y'all got a rude awakening coming. Donald Trump's going to do great things for this country.
Well, that's what he said, and that's one of the reasons I voted for him, so let's hope he does.
For the people that drive this country and make things happen, it's time we got ours. Y'all quit y'all's fucking whining and why don't y'all contribute?
Again, I think you're putting Hillary supporters and Bernie supporters into the same category, and you're saying hard labor is the only skilled labor driving this country, when you have to think about the tech companies that are liberal, and it takes your brain to work at those.
Help. Do something with your lives for a change. This video probably won't be seen because I'm just a nobody. Just a simple white man down here in Texas making a living paying his way.
This is another thing that rednecks do that get on my nerves. They talk about being simple, and it's just like, that's like virtuous, and it's fucking annoying. Every time you call yourself simple, think of yourself as a simpleton. And I'm sorry, this is my bias coming out, but this is another thing that annoys me about y'all.
Take a lesson out of my book. Do something with your life. Use your hands. Use your head. Come up with your own conclusions.
That's exactly what I'm telling you, and that's why you saying it sounds really rich to me. I think you're following the right blindly. Just because the right has your support right now does not mean that they can do no wrong, and they have to be held accountable. That's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching. Later.